Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's NinjaTrader ecosystem event, Why Do You Miss Trades? With Anthony, President of Verbal Journal Trading. My name is Juanita, and I am the platform representative at NinjaTrader. Before we start the webinar, I have a few housekeeping notes. This webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Any brokerage-related questions should be emailed, or you can call the brokerage directly using the following information. If you are new to NinjaTrader, please take a moment to sign up for a free live NinjaTrader demo with real-time market data. Our platform is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. You can get a free demo account by using the link. Before I turn the mic over to Anthony, it's important to understand that futures, foreign currency, and options trading contains substantial risks and is not suitable for every investor. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Also, please remember that these training sessions are not a solicitation nor recommendation, but simply educational in nature. Thank you again for joining us today. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader ecosystem webinar room, Anthony of Verbal Journal. Go ahead and take it away, Anthony.
Thank you, Juanita. Well, first of all, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, past and present. And how many guys or how many people in here have heard a webinar I've done in the past? Give me a yes if you have, or a no if you haven't. I think it's important for the risk disclosure that Juanita talked about. And I know it's a lot of legal language, but it's important if you don't understand risk, how are you going to manage it? That's the way I always look at that. A lot of that legal language. It is important, even though it sounds or can get redundant. Now, the name of this webinar is Why Do You Miss Trades? And the reason why you miss trades is because you don't know why you miss trades. And I'll get to that, circle back to that in a second. Let me tell you a quick story of me being on the floor. I was on a CME when everything was on a trading floor in the mid-90s. I got a membership at the Chicago Board of Trade and was trading in the pit in late 1999, early 2000. Was failing, wasn't making any money. I found out of a prop firm, proprietary firm that existed in the northern suburb of Chicago. I get a meeting out there just to look around. It's like noon. And I see workstation after workstation, all these computers, right? The old monitors and everything else, but nobody's in the office. It's noon. And I said, well, this is great. Where's everybody at? He says, we're done. We trade the second half of the European business day. I said, you don't start 1 a.m? He says, no, we start about 6 o'clock in the morning. And by 10:30, 11, the European business day is essentially closed and guys leave. They have lunch and they leave. He says, come back next week and the owner will be here and we'll kind of do an interview. And I wasn't even expecting that. So I go back the next week, do the interview. I could tell the owner likes my background being from the floor and trying. He understands I was failing. And he says, one last question. What makes you think you could do this? Meaning be successful at trading. And I be honest, I guessed at the answer. And I said, because I'm putting myself around guys doing it. And he says, right answer. He says, you got the job. He looked at his partner. He says, you don't even have to check his references. He says, it's not just about being around guys that are doing it, but around people that are trying to do it. And it's that push and pull that gives you the best chance at this business. So let's get into something I developed by being in a prop firm, something that helped people get through all of the resistance of getting to pulling money out of the market, because everything is designed to take your money. And you have to be able to document where you're weak without writing all kinds of stuff down in mounds of notebooks, because you're not going to go through that stuff. It's fine for people who like that, but most people can't stick with that. So let me get into the tool and then why the tool is helpful. Number one, a lot of people have pre-market opinions and previews, but do they work? Are they worth the time? Do you have the confidence to trade your bias in the morning? Or is your bias irrelevant? So review your previews. Another is everybody's got support resistance, but why is it important? And are you trading them? And then circling always back to this is the highlight of today's webinar. how to miss less winners. So just to recap about me, I started my career at the CME as a clerk, became a board of trade member, and then hired at one of the bigger prop firms, International Trading Group, like I said, northern suburb of Chicago. And then I created this tool actually years after leaving the firm because I understood. In fact, I was sitting in an office with 3 other traders. I said, wouldn't it be cool if we could do this on a chart? And the reaction was there was some foul language and everything else on how cool that would be to be able to do this simple stuff to kind of journal what you were doing, what you were missing, to essentially get back to reviewing more effectively. So why to journal, first of all? And by the way, I'm going to leave plenty of time open for questions. So if you have a question, ask it. If I don't get to it during the presentation, I'm not ignoring you, but we'll get to it at the end. Here's a picture of my family. If you ever seen any of my webinars, I like to start them off with, I'm the youngest of 8 kids. That's me. It's my father. The reason why I'm highlighting and showing a picture of my family is growing up, he told us, if you know how, you'll have a job, but if you know why, you'll be the boss. So I always circle back to the why to everything. All right. Why journal? Well, a good journal creates some structure to review without being boring. The last thing that I want to do and you guys want to do, especially after a bad day, is go over it. How do you make that more effective? Missed trades. You're going to keep seeing this as a recurring theme. Missed trades are important because they're not documented in a statement. They're not documented in any tool that you could download to an Excel spreadsheet and give your statistics. Why? Because you didn't take them. But yet they created maybe a bad trade the next trade or a lot of emotion that you got pent up inside. It saves time when you have a tool like Verbal Journal and not mounds of notebook paper and notes and all general ways to journal, the old ways to journal. Like I said, a pre-market bias or opinion. Are you wasting your time coming up with one? Or do you have one? It's good, but you never develop the confidence to trade it. And that's the word, confidence. You're not going to get confident unless you're consistent. And if you miss a lot, and trust me, most people, whether you're in here or listening to this on recording or trading for how long, miss a lot. The more you miss, the less likely you are to have been consistent. But everybody misses a certain amount of stuff, whether it's news that comes across the wire, some big order that came in. Maybe it's fear that created a lack of action. But if you're not consistent, you'll never be confident. So how do we address this? Let me show the tool first. I usually show the tool at the end. Let me show it first. What is this Verbal Journal? First of all, this is a Ninja chart. If you see any blue dot, red dot you see on the screen, let me show it to you. Green dot over here. Any dot on the screen is a note that you left behind at the time and the place you made a note. Dialog box comes up. You title it. You can play it back, record it. But anywhere you see a dot, you would have left a note or a thought behind. All right, let me blow up the dialog box. You can leave a title. If you use a title, it shows up in a Dropbox, so you don't have to continue to type a similar title. Usually there's about 6 or 10 titles that you'll keep coming back to using. Why type it in each time? Drop down box that remembers it, so you don't have to keep doing that. The color that you want the dot shows up in here. If you want a line with the dot and the note, you could decide to do that. It ends at the end of the day if you draw lines, so you have lines all over the place. But sometimes you add support or resistance. It's not just the area that you could designate with a gray line or whatever line people use on their platform to designate support resistance. That's one thing, but why is it support or resistance? That's more important to help lead to any kind of confidence you might have. All right. So this is what the dialog box looks like. I'm going to show it on a live Ninja chart at the end. Okay. Let me just get into this horizontal line. And I keep my webinars short to leave time for questions. I don't think you need to spend a long time in going over anything. I think what's important is to be simple with it. That's the approach to trading. That's how I was taught from the floor and how I was taught in a prop firm, is the simplicity. So you need also simplicity in your trade journaling. All right, missed trades. Let's go back to that. If, let's say, you were missing trades. Like I said earlier, you don't have any documentation of trades you missed because you didn't take them, meaning you don't have them in your statement. You don't have them in anywhere you could pull up and say, boy, I missed that one, or I missed this one. It's in the back of your mind, maybe. Maybe you took some notes and you wrote them down. But where and why did it happen on the chart where things lined up? You should have taken it, but you didn't. I wrote something down the other day when I was talking with someone, and it was, this is why I wrote it down, because I'd forget it. I would rather miss trades I'm supposed to take than take trades I'm not supposed to take. Let me say it again. I'd rather miss trades I'm supposed to take than take trades I'm not supposed to take. Well, how do you know which ones you're supposed to take, which ones you miss, unless you're documenting them? How many missed trades am I having? Here's what's important about missed trades. Let's say you caught half the trades you missed over the course of a month. How different does your statement look? Not to say you're going to catch everything you miss. Let's say you catch 20% of the trades you should have taken, but fear or lack of confidence talked you out of it. How different does your statement look? Here's another thing people don't understand about missed trades. You miss a trade that would have been an effortless winner. Okay? You miss a trade that would have been an effortless winner. What are you bound to do next? Force a trade? Take something you shouldn't take? Because your mind wants to get back for missing something. So generally, we make dumb trades if we miss trades because we didn't get off our chest, and our mind wants us to get that missed trade and remove how we felt, how bad we felt from missing a trade. So you got to miss less trades if you're supposed to take them. But a weakness among traders, experienced and especially inexperienced traders, are documenting why and what you're missing. Listen to the inflection of your voice. Hear over the course of time, and I'll show you if you're sounding more like a trader as you document everything. You can't get that from a stack of notebooks. All right. Missed trades are really important. Like I said, you can't document, you can't pull them up because you didn't take them. There's no track record of them without a tool like this. I mentioned this earlier, PreMarket Ideas. If you guys have a great way to create a bias to start the day, and generally you're right, are you trading on that side of the bias? Or are you bullish and the first trade out of the gate is a short? Pull that up on your chart. Document why you're bullish or bearish. Document what goes into your opinion before the open, for example. And then look to see if there's any accuracy. Are you wasting your time with some of the stuff that's creating a pre-market idea? And maybe you color those different colors. The point of this webinar is not to tell you what colors to make the dots and everything else. That's up to you. Different colored dots should mean different things. So you look at a chart and that's you on the chart instead of stacks of notebook papers. In trade emotion, how many times have you heard, get it off your chest? We all feel better instead of holding something in, just get it off your chest. It's hard though to talk to someone about trading who's never traded. They don't understand what we go through. You can't talk to a plumber about trading. A plumber could talk to us about a sink. We use a sink. But you can't tell a plumber that you missed two nice winners off support, and then you took the third one, and that was a loser. You missed two winners and caught the third one, and that was a loser. See if he understands. In trade emotion, get it off your chest. Speak into the recording. Tell it how you feel. Why support resistance? Everybody, that's one of the common denominators being in this business so long is support resistance. I'm here to tell you that now. People have different reasons to come up with their lines in the sand, support resistance, but why is your support or your resistance? Will that give you more confidence? How many people in here would say they're profilers, market profile, volume profilers? How many people are here are profilers? I'm here to tell you that it's more of a popular theory that's used. I'm not proficient in it, but I know it's popular among a lot of traders, right? So a lot of people devise their levels off of that. But why is it support today? Is it a value area low? Is it a high? Is it a POC? Color it. Which ones seem to work better? When do they work? When they don't work? This isn't really part of what I plan to say, but I'm going to say it now. Like a little bonus here. The best trades you'll find is get a popular support level. All right. That you know that fifth graders have. I call them little Johnnies. Little Johnnies have this level of support. So most of the rest of the world does. If it comes down in here and ends up working and rallying, great. But if price comes down and fires right through it, there's a good chance you got all the little Johnnies stuck what? Stuck long playing that support. Find a popular support area, see it not work, and look at it to change your opinion from bullish to bearish. Look at that as being subsequent resistance. You've heard support, old support, new resistance, probably, right? This is when that works the best. When you're able to find a popular support area and it doesn't work, and you got everybody stuck begging to get out. And remember this, if you don't remember anything from this webinar, when you're long, what are you right now? After you're long, are you a buyer or a seller? After you're long, you're a seller to cover that position. You hope to sell it higher, but you're still a seller. Think of trading that way from now on. When you're long, you're a seller. So is everybody else. So if a lot of longs got long in that area because of this popular support level, then they're all sellers around where they bought it to get long, hoping to get out. That's what makes really good, high probable areas of old support, new resistance. Not just any support, new resistance, but support that was popular among the little Johnnies in the world. Now, how do I tie that into the verbal journal? Start documenting popular support levels. Document when they don't work. It's very easy with this tool. I'll show you how easy it is to use. Document support levels that you like for this reason and that reason, but you found yourself a little timid to take. Well, why is that? What's talking you out of it? So why support resistance, not just support resistance? And maybe you use the lines that you're able to do with this tool. And what's cool is you click on the line, it'll play back the recording. I'll show you that in a second. All of this leads to confidence, but confidence doesn't just hit you one day. In fact, when you turn the corner, you don't know you're turning the corner when you're turning the corner. It's you turn the corner and you look back and say, that was the moment or moments I turned the corner. But at the time, you're waiting for that light bulb moment. You might get it. You're really not sure. And then when you look back and say, that's the time I turned the corner. For me, and listen, if it wasn't for computerized trading that took over this business 20, 25 years ago, we wouldn't be talking right now. I'd be doing electrical work. But computerized electronic trading, as it was called back when it transitioned, allowed me to take some of the skills of reading the market that I could not execute in a pit and allow to execute around other people that were doing it in an electronic environment. Where did I get confident? I had moments that I look back that were epiphany type moments, but I turned the corner when I realized, I'll tell you this story. This ain't part of it, but I'll add it. I looked at a chart one day. All right. And stay with me on this one. You look at charts all the time. And the chart happened to be that of a rally. And I was looking to get short the rally. All right. And I thought to myself, but what makes me so special? Did you ever think of that? What would make me so special that I could sell it right there? People are going to come in after me willing to sell it at a lower price, because that's what has to happen for a short to work, right? You have to get people to sell it after you get short. What makes me so special? What makes you so special that would work, that would be a good location? What made me so special was the thought of, wait a second, I get it. When a market rallies, that means people are trying to buy it. They're not just buying it, they're trying to buy it. If they were all buying it, it wouldn't move. It was trying to buy it, and that's the chase. So people are chasing it up. At some point when they're done buying it, there's probably a good amount of longs now that chased it up, right? Many people in here could kind of connect to chasing the market. You wanted to buy it down here, but you didn't. You end up buying it up here. You reached. Well, at some point in a rally, the market gets long enough. And it's the longs, like I just said a moment ago, that are sellers. What was the question? After you're long, what are you, a buyer or a seller? You're a seller. So what made me so special, what answered that question, was once the market gets long enough, that's what creates the sellers that are willing to sell it after me at a lower price. Being able to read the market and find those locations is what makes you so special when you're trading well, stripping out that randomness that otherwise exists. Too many longs, too many sellers, price weakens. Does that make sense? So how does this tool kind of fit? Well, it fits into everything I'm talking about. Documenting the moments. If you had an epiphany moment like that, record it. Put it on your screen. Color a certain dot of ideas that you have. Instead of writing them down, it's all messy on pieces of paper, or even those that might be more organized on Evernote or some other journaling device or application. Let me show you a Ninja chart. Here's a couple notes I just made for the sake of today's webinar. You see this green dot in the dotted line? All right. Let's say you had support there before it worked as support and subsequent resistance. All right. Now I will say I purposely put it there because it worked. I'm not cherry picking. I am cherry picking and just being honest, just for example's sake. Okay. So I want to show you, first of all, once there's a dot on here, if I hold control and click the dot, the box pops up. Now, I think I shared the computer sound. You guys should be able to hear it. If you don't, you'll hear it faintly in the background. But I'm going to play it. All right, ready? Earlier, coming out of this congestion, we had some stuck shorts, so it should be support the next time down. Were you guys able to hear that? If you heard, was it, I don't know if the Zoom share sound worked. All right, good. If you heard it kind of faintly in the background, it's because you're listening to through my speaker. All right. So let me play it again. Earlier, coming out of this congestion, we had some stuck shorts, so it should be support the next time down. So I just documented not that there's support, but why it's support. Out of this congestion, people got stuck short. They're going to be like trying desperately to buy it. That's how I get my support resistance most of the time, in real time, with what just happened. All right. Now let's go to the blue dot. I'll show you how to make these dots in a second. We go to the blue dot and I click it. Let me check on time here. Oh, we're doing good. I'm going to play this. Had everything line up here, and I just talked myself out of it. Now, that was just a quick, for example's sake, why I might have missed that trade, why you might have missed that trade. Think about all the times you had support, you had everything line up, and you talked yourself out of it. Why? What's keeping you from that trade? Record it. Don't write it down. Record it. Listen to yourself. Get into more detail as to why you're missing trades. Watch how many missed trades maybe are effortless winners to work yourself into more of a confident disposition. Everybody wants to get confident by a new book they're going to read or some sort of great, what do they call? Guru, some great guru. That ain't gonna work. You guys know that by now. All right. I didn't have a guru that step. There's some good mentors, don't get me wrong, but there's no magic. So the magic sauce is within yourself. The edge and the advantage you most likely have, but you're suppressing it by not getting it out. And the simplicity gets missed all the time. What's also cool about this is that, see this line? I could click anywhere on it and play back the recording. Same recording of the support recording, but you could play it anywhere on the line. And the line will end at the session end, the day at the end of the session. So you don't have lines going forever. All right, now let's make a recording. And let's say you missed a trade, another trade down in here that you might have had support. You hold control for Ninja and you left click, the dialog pops up, box pops up. And you got this whole list of previous recordings that you could pull from. Let's say we just want to say there's a breakout trade or something else. Here's the color. Let's make it orange. Hit OK. You want to draw a line or not? You don't have to. You hit record. Check, check, check. I think this market could come down here at support, turn around, and break out to the upside. You stop it, you close it, and there's the orange dot. To play it back, hold the control, click the dot. There it is. Press play. Check, check, check. I think this market could come down here at support, turn around, and break out to the upside. You don't like that recording, or it's a recording you don't want, or whatever else, very easy to delete, and it's gone. The hotkeys are hold control and left click. And wherever you point is where the dot will appear when you're finished with the recording. If I click up here, right there, and I make a recording, check, 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 hit stop, hit close, there's the dot. Hold the control left click to delete. If you want to add a line, all right, hold control, left click. Let's change the color to green, for example. Hit OK. Just click, check the box, draw a line. You got to record something for it to save. Check, 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 check. Hit stop. There's your line. Then anywhere on the line, I click over here and I can play it back. When I hold control and left click to record a new, you can't play anything. That's why it's kind of grayed out. You can only record on a new recording, obviously. So everywhere you have a dot and a specific color dot that you made, you have a thought, you have an idea, you have a missed trade, you have support or resistance. You don't have to have a million dots on your screen, but you should have a couple a day. And this is how you efficiently, effectively exercise. No one's going to exercise for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, most people, and remain committed to doing that and keep themselves in shape. Do something for yourself that allows you a chance of longevity to listen back. I have people on this that when I work with them one-on-one, we go back over the recordings, and you know what happens? And there's been 3 or 4 examples. Someone will listen to them and go, that doesn't even sound like me, they say. We did last week, I did a session with an individual that we were going over their trade. This is more of an extensive or intensive one-on-one session. And they had made recordings from that day. And they go, yeah, they go over what they were thinking. Then they play the recording and it wasn't what they were thinking. They're like, man, I forgot. They were thinking a little of the opposite. That what they thought they were thinking isn't what they recorded. Your mind will play tricks on you. So you got to combat that. Before I get into this promotion, I'm not doing a promotion where it saves discounts or anything else. I got a promotion because someone gave me the idea. They go, people willing to do this, I'll spend, it won't be a lot of time, but it'll be enough time, and do a setup session where I'll set it up for you, or someone else will set it up for you. Probably it'll be me, and give you a couple ideas on how you should use it. I'll ask you a couple questions where you feel maybe you're struggling, how you think you'd find uses for it, and I'll give you my opinion. I didn't start trading yesterday. I only got the floor experience, but 8 years of being in a prop firm. All right, 8 years of being a prop firm, before that being on a trading floor. And the reason why I succeeded in a prop environment, because most people didn't succeed from lifetime traders trying to make it on a computer. And you know why? Because they couldn't get over a lot of the lack of audio that doesn't exist on a screen. That was one reason. But I only traded in the pit for about 6 or 8 months. So the blend of floor experience to prop experience allowed me to kind of have the best of both worlds and not the bad habits of being a 10-year pit trader. Let me answer some questions. I see a couple of them popped in. Couple questions about the hotkeys. Again, they're control, hold control and left click. The dialog box will pop up. You could use this on multiple charts. Yes, as long as you activate it. You buy one license, you could activate it on multiple charts as long as it's installed once the first time. Anywhere you make a dot, it'll actually populate and appear on the other charts you have it loaded. As long as it's the same symbol. Different time frames, yes. Can I? Yes, but that's not really relevant to this webinar, but a question about trading looking only at liquidity. It depends how you break down the liquidity. You got to take liquidity and break it down into other people's positions. You can't just say trade liquidity. People all like to read order flow and talk about how reading order flow is important. Most people don't know what even that means, even those that have tools to teach it. But order flow is based on the intent of an order. So liquidity is the intent of that liquidity. Are people coming in to buy, to get long, to cover a short, to do neither? Where people get too long, too short. So it's all about creating real-time analysis based on what other people are doing. Keeping your eye on the enemy, which are other people's positions. I think I answered this question. Can the dots be duplicated to another location and or dragged out to another location? Not dragged or dropped, but like I said, if indeed you have it on another chart, it'll automatically populate. They are saved as a WAV file. And from there, whoever asked that question, you can send that file. Now, a couple things about let me get rid of this. Let's talk about promotion. The promotion is me for about 30 minutes to set up this. Obviously, it's the tool, but put yourself in a position that gives you an advantage over others. I'm telling you, most people are not going to take the time to work on their trading because they think it's too hard. And it is the way that they do it, the way they try to first do it, with all these notebooks and all these thoughts and all these books and all the effort. And then they get tired and then they don't do it. And then they slip and then they do no review. We get fired if we did zero review in the prop firm. We had impromptu meetings. We were talking and discussing it, what we were doing, and could articulate those thoughts. So put yourself in a position to just get a little bit of an edge over those that you're trading against. Because when you talk about where's an edge is what other people are doing and not doing. You're trading against other people's positions. Let them stay fearful and miss good trades. So this promotion, like I said, you buy it. It's not a monthly fee. It's a lifetime license. I'll send you the website in a second in your chat box. Talked about this free one-on-one setup, but this offer isn't forever. It'll end on Monday. Again, the lifetime license. Take a look at your chat box. Juanita's going to put the website, verbaljournaltrading.com, in there, and my email address, support@verbaljournaltrading.com, if you got questions about it. Once you log on to the website, not log on, but once you go to the website, let me find it. It looks like this. There's the home page. There's the mound, stacks of notebook paper. Clean it up and put yourself in a position to see yourself on the charts and miss less trades. But if you scroll down, you'll see some videos, but also NinjaTrader. When you purchase it, you fill out the form. It's not going to say anything about a one-on-one setup. I'll get an email. I'll contact you and we'll set that up. And the thing about having it set up, someone else might come in for the first 5 or 10 minutes to technically set it up. It's real easy. Then I'll come in and I want to ask a couple questions about you and your trading and where you think your weaknesses are, get to know you, and then be in a position to give you my opinion as to what you should be journaling. And oh, by the way, you don't make 5-minute, 10-minute recordings. You keep them short and sweet. It's quality. It's not the quantity, the number of dots or how long the recordings are. But get yourself on the chart. And then all of a sudden, here's a mistake people I see make repeatedly. They blame their strategy. And the strategy is looking around saying, what are you blaming me for? You're not even trading me. You're making trades outside what you intended to do. And then you blame the strategy, or you blame the setup, or you blame the progression, or you don't have a progression. You have a great bias in the morning. You never trade it. You don't have a bias and you should, or your bias, save time. Don't do all that research in the first hour. It's random. Your pre-market opinion isn't working, or it is. Either way, put yourself in a position to document that without stacks of notebook paper. Keep seeing this video or get sick. Well, that part says a lot of sense to people. Someone mentioned about if I didn't miss 4 trades today or 3 trades today. Forget about today. Think over the course of a month. If you caught 10 or 20% of the trades that you missed, how different does your month-end statement look? Because you're not going to know that, again, because your missed trades aren't documented anywhere. They're not going to show up anywhere. And so after I developed this tool, the uses of it funneled down into people missing less trades. That was the number one. It's helped a lot of people get less emotional. There was a guy that was just documenting his sleep as one of the uses for it. But the number one use that has helped most of the people, that the common denominator has been the missed trades, missing less trades. And then being able to strip out their thought process and the randomness that otherwise exists. I can't tell you when I was in a prop firm, as I started my second year, when they started hiring guys, 6 or 8 guys at a time, they'd hire them in groups, and they were required to go to class after trading, and it was around noon. And then they asked some senior traders to help with these younger guys. And I can't tell you, and I didn't do a lot of them, but I remember one meeting where I couldn't even get people to tell me why they did what they did. And it had just happened an hour or two before. And they had notes, but they couldn't understand even their notes. Be simple. Why do you have support? Why is it in part of your progression? Did you have a qualifier to get you long? Maybe you don't have a qualifier to get you long, and that's why you're missing the trade and you're lacking the confidence. There's a reason why kids growing up always say, but why, but why, but why, but why? They're starved to understand. That doesn't go away as adults. We all are starving for trying to understand why. So the last thing I'll leave you with is, if you're trying to predict where price is going, and we all are as traders, you better know why it moves in the first place. And most people don't know why price moves, and yet they're trying to predict it. So your studies, yourself, your strategies, your setup, all could be right in front of you in these 20-second, 30-second, 1 minute, 10-second, 5-second clips, and recording what you think and how you feel about the market. And it's very simple to be able to do. Doesn't require much effort. Any other questions? Again, verbal journal. I think, yeah, she did. Thank you, Juanita. She popped in the verbaljournaltrading.com URL in the chat. You also have it should be in there, and support@verbaljournaltrading.com. Would you mind popping in it one more time, Juanita? Thank you. You should see it now. If you don't see it for whatever reason, verbaljournaltrading.com is the address. And when you fill out the order, you'll get an email back with some days and times to pick, and we'll get you set up. And you'll be off to the races. But start investing in yourself and start figuring out why there might be a lack of confidence. Even if you're making money and you're consistent, all right, in this business, you can always grow your size. Create a sizing plan through these notes. But let's face it, most people struggle at being consistent, right? 2 months of profits gone in one day or one trade. 1 week of profit gone in a trade. It's a common pain point. Why is that happening? Oh, you're not getting the link because, hold on, let me send it. It was just being sent to the panelists. Let me send it to everyone. Hold on a second. There, everybody should have it now. Supported verbal journal trading.com is, I'll also pop that in there as the email address if you got any more questions. But verbaljournaltrading.com, and I popped the link in there. Everybody should have it to go and get it. On Monday, it expires with the whole setup offer. So I want to thank everybody for coming, specifically veterans. Like I said at the beginning, I'll say at the end, it's November 11th. Those who are watching the recording, you know why I'm saying it, but God bless you. Thanks for your service. Have a great, safe day. And like I said, any other questions, you know how to get a hold of us. You do this before Monday, you get to have a one-on-one meeting with me and go through how to best use this. Juanita and NinjaTrader, thanks for hosting this.
Thank you again Anthony, for taking time to share with us today. If you enjoyed today's session, we hope that you will join us in future webinars. We'd like to remind you the information provided in this was that of Verbal Journal Trading and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from everyone here at the NinjaTrader ecosystem. Thank you again and have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.
My pleasure. Thank you, Juanita.